pleasant Wednesday evening to all of our listeners here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis across the entire Eastern Caribbean, and of course to those joining us via the World Wide Web. Of course, you know that we are live on Facebook, and of course we know that we have listeners across St. Kitts and Nevis, across the region, and throughout the diaspora. Welcome to On the Mark for today, Wednesday, the 9th of December 2022. And I guess by now you realize that this is not the regular host, the Honorable Mark Brantley. Well, I am Eric Evelyn, and I'm sitting in for the Honorable Mark Brantley tonight, who is off island, but of course I'm here to sit in. And so I want to welcome all of our listeners. It's always a pleasure to have you. Of course, we know that this is a show that everybody looks forward to, everybody listens to, On the Mark. And of course we know that this is probably the most widely listened to show in St. Kitts and Nevis, and probably across the region and in the diaspora. We know that we have tons of people in the diaspora who tune in every Wednesday to get a piece of the On the Mark show. And of course, as I said, Eric Evelyn sitting in tonight, and we're going to have a wonderful time tonight. We have a guest who we'll be introducing in a while, and then of course we'll be talking to you a little later on, and then of course you'll have a chance, if you so desire, to call in and hear your views. Of course, our phone numbers 869-469-1616 or 869-469-1700. Of course, it's the Eastern Caribbean Spa House, Vaughan Radio. Only the best will do, and only the best will always do on the Eastern Caribbean Spa House and on the On the Mark show. Well, of course, we know at the top of the hour we normally do some housekeeping matters. And I just want to extend some birthday greetings to persons who might be celebrating birthday today or this week. If you have celebrated already for this week, we trust that you've had a wonderful, wonderful birthday. And if you're celebrating today, well, happy birthday. You have a couple more hours to celebrate and to enjoy yourselves. I hope that you would have had a great day so far, and I encourage you to have a wonderful rest of your evening. If you're celebrating tomorrow or Friday or Saturday for the rest of the week, we extend advanced birthday greetings to you, whether it's a birthday or it's an anniversary. Any celebration, congratulations to you. Have a whale of a time. And of course, those of you who may not be feeling so well, if you're a little bit under the weather, we say good evening to you. We say good evening to the folks who might be in the hospital at this time, those of you who are not doing very well, those who might be in the homes of the Flamboyant Nursing Home, the St. George and St. John Senior Citizens Home in Gingerland, wherever you are. And of course, we also greet the good folks, the nurses and all of the staff who take such excellent care of the folks who are either under the weather or who are in the home. So we say good evening to all of you, those who are residents there, those of you who are taking such wonderful care of the folks. And tonight we have a lot of people in the bereaved column. Unfortunately, lots of people in the bereaved column. And of course we know that we are a very close-knit community here on the island of Nevis, and so when anyone mourns, we all mourn with you. And so I want to send out some condolences and some sympathy greetings to a number of families tonight, and I'm going to start with the Jones family. We have lost my very, very, very good friend, Mr. Stephen Jones from Hamilton, who has been a friend and associate for a very, very long time. He would have worked with me at the department and the Ministry of Agriculture. A very wonderful human being, always so kind, always had such kind words, always had words of encouragement for me. And I know he suffered long and hard, and I know we're going to miss him. And I want to send out some condolences to his dear wife Merlis, and to the children, especially to Stevie and Phil. The siblings, I know there are a lot of siblings, but I want to say special greetings to Anthony and to Keith Lee and to all the hosts. It's a huge close-knit family. Shelley, good night to you as well. And so we say condolences to the Jones family. I understand that the funeral will be next week Wednesday at the St. Paul's Anglican Church at 10:30, and we're asked to please say a prayer for the family, go on out and support the family. Show them your support next week Wednesday during the funeral. We also want to send out some condolences to the Hendrickson and Herbert family there in Pond Hill. They would have lost my other good friend Sylvian Herbert, and want to say good night to all of the family, Doreen, Imelda, all of the family and friends of Sylvie Herbert, to the husband Papa. We say good night to you. We also say good night. I go down to Hanley's Road, where I have lost a relative, Pastor Emerald Hanley, and we say good night to the Maynard and the Hanley families down in Hanley's Road. Pastor Emerald Hanley, we know she was the pastor there at the Ebenezer Church right there at Old Manor. She was a soldier of the Lord, a prayer warrior, and we have lost her. We say good night definitely to the family, Isla, Michael, and the rest of the family there in Hanley's Road. A very huge family, the Maynard family, very, very big. And so we say good night. I believe, I understand that the funeral will be on Monday. We also say good night to the Sutton family in Hanley's Road. They would have lost a relative in England. I understand that the body will be brought home and the funeral will be here on the island of Nevis as well. So we say good night to the Sutton family down there in Hanley's Road. The Cozier family over there in Fountain, you would have lost Beverson Cozier, so we say good night to you. We also say good night to the family of the late Verna Williams, who resided in Braziers. I understand she passed away in England. She also was a very good friend, a very, very friendly, wonderful individual. We say good night to the family there as well. And the family of the late Pearl Halbert, there in Government Road. We say good night to Julia and the rest of the family. Good night to you. And of course, we know that the Honorable Alexis Jeffers would have lost his uncle, Mr. Zephaniah Queely, and that funeral is going to be tomorrow at the St. James Anglican Church at 2 o'clock, and so we're asking persons to go out and support. So we say good night to the Quayle family, and of course we say good night as well to Evelyn and Jacqueline Dorr and the rest of the Dorr family there in Gingerland. You're my constituents, and so I say good night to you. You would have lost your uncle. We also say good night to the Claxton family. I understand that we would have lost Morrell Claxton yesterday, and so we say good night to his wife Lornette and all the children and grandchildren and the entire family. And I also want to go to Antigua to say good night to Dean Rudolph Smithon. He would have lost his wife. Of course, they would have served here on the island of Nevis very recently at the St. Thomas's Anglican Church. Mrs. Evelyn Smithon was a very good friend of mine, someone who I was very fond of, and I know Dean Smithon has some relatives here, Clara and Ernie and the rest of the family. So we say good night to you. May you be comforted during this very, very difficult time. And of course, we know that we here in Nevis, we always rally around each other when persons are in the bereaved column. And so now we would have taken care of that. As I would have indicated, we do have a guest in our studios this evening, and he's going to be speaking about an activity that is coming up on the weekend, but I don't want to steal his thunder. And so I am going to ask him to introduce himself and tell us why he's here on The Mark tonight. As I said, On The Mark is the program that everybody listens to. And if you want persons to know what is happening in St. Kitts and Nevis, here is the best place where you can come. And we are always happy to welcome folks who are willing to come and share their information with us, get the information out to the public. And once anything is advertised here on The Mark, you're sure to get excellent support. And so I want to say good night to my special guest, and I will allow him to introduce himself.
Good evening, everyone. I am Issa Kamal. Most persons, of course, know me as Christian K.L.I. Nathaniel. That's my birth name. I carry Issa Kamal for artistic and professional purposes. This weekend, I am here in Nevis because we are doing the second edition of a series of performance lectures where we look at traditional music culture and we make them relatable to modern cultural societies. It's called Vision, a musical hour of classics reimagined for all generations.
And tell us, why did you decide to bring this to Nevis?
Well, Nevis is
because I believe you haven't told us, but I believe you reside on St. Kitts, right?
I look like it, right?
I believe you have roots on Nevis, so maybe you need to tell us a little bit more about yourself, where your roots are, and that sort of thing.
Most definitely. I look like a Kittian, isn't it? I don't have that good Nevisian flair. I apologize for everyone. So a little bit about me. I mean, I'm putting on a music concert, so obviously I'm a musician, right?
Yes.
My specialty is mainly in piano and keys. However, I do also play the guitar, steel pan, fife, flute, And I tried the spoons at one time, but I'm telling you, Honorable, it's a little bit more tedious than you think it would be.
So you're a musician that you play everything then?
As anything that my hands can touch. I'll probably play something on this table right now. Who knows? Okay.
You sound very talented.
Well, thank you so.
And you sound very passionate about your talents.
Definitely. My entire life has been surrounded with creativity and music. I haven't been in any sphere that hasn't had me diving into an artistic field. I started my music journey when I was 2. Actually, my grandmother tells me all the time that I started playing piano on hers when I was 2 years old. And of course, grandmother's word has to be the best one out there, ain't it?
All the time.
All of the time. And of course, I went through piano classes with Hulda Lawrence. I then excelled in varying disciplines, and throughout my artistic academia, I also performed in various spaces in St. Kitts Nevis regionally and internationally. For a very long time, I was the official organist for the state service. I was also
independent state service.
Indeed, yes. In fact, but now that I'm
quite a resume.
Well, thank
at
you.
At your age.
Well, would you like me to send you one? Like mine is 10 pages long. I can give it to you right now.
It almost sounds like 20.
Yada yada yada, story and asunder. I'm right now finishing up my baccalaureate program in ethnomusicology at the City University of New York. Why am I not there right now? Because I am very allergic to snow. I hate winter, and so I have a free semester right now, and then I'll go back, unfortunately, in the winter. But I'm looking forward to really continuing on with initiatives like Vision to really expand and diversify the realm of artistic innovation and creativity that we have within the Federation.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about Vision.
Lovely. So Vision, as I said, is a performance lecture series, and I'm going to take this out because I have some really nicely written words here. So
Absolutely.
Okay. So it was launched back in March 2022, which
the mic is all yours.
Lovely. Yes. So it was launched back in March 2022, which was March of this year, isn't it? And what we want to do is really expand the collective consciousness within our music creators and consumers. You understand? We're a series that's founded on 5 basic principles, and follow along with me because there's something special at the end, Honorable.
Okay.
5 principles. 1. Motivation. To research appreciation for the significance of musical arts, its history and influence on global lifestyles within our society through creative edification. 2. Unification. To bring together a diverse array of musical acts with varying skill sets and prominence. Saturation. To diversify the pool of musical genres and styles prevalently disseminated within our local and regional market. Innovation. To inspire artists to create and inject unconventional ways to entertain and educate the masses. And 5. Celebration. To honor music and its ever-evolving yet firm impact within our cultural fabric through live performance. And if you realized, if you look at all 5 principles, they spell what?
I can't see very well. Isa.
No. The 5 principles: motivation, unification, saturation, innovation, and celebration.
Oh, music.
There
I
you
wasn't
go.
looking at the first one.
Yes, because as we know, music and art itself is the heartbeat of our society.
Right.
It is the blood of our society. And I love how we are moving along in our society, knowing that we have to respect and really honor music and musicians all over our country. You understand? Of course, I'm not going to leave you dry, Honorable. I brought this here specially for this occasion so that everybody out there in radio, live, and whatever lands can see that I have given you your complimentary 2 tickets to the show this Sunday.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay. And I'm not sure if the Honorable Premier will be here as well. However, I brought this
The
package
Premier
for
will be
him.
here.
Lovely. So
Thank you.
everybody knows that they have their invites to the show. Okay, so I'm hoping that somewhere in their busy and very lively schedules, you all can take a pass and very much see.
You need to
everything
tell
we're
us a
doing.
little bit more about the show
Vision.
because people, I'm sure you would want people to come.
That is very much so.
You
We are
haven't
having.
told us much about the show yet. Where is
Really?
it going to take place? When is it? What time of the day?
Oh,
Venue? No. You're so excited about telling us about music. You haven't told us about the show.
the show itself,
Tell us
right?
about the show.
Definitely. And so, like I said, we're diving into traditional music culture and making it lively and relatable
Yes.
to modern societies. The show itself is going to be at the Gingerland Methodist Church.
Mhm.
That's this Sunday, November the 13th, in the year 2022. It's going to start at 3:30 p.m. and it's definitely 3:30 p.m. sharp because it's under the distinguished patronage of Her Honor.
Yes, a lot of the times, and not cutting you off, but a lot of the times we say sharp, and sharp doesn't mean sharp.
Well,
Does sharp mean sharp this time?
Well, I mean, at our first edition, we started at 5:30 sharp.
Okay.
You understand? And this time around, last time it was under the distinguished patronage of His Excellency Sir Kennedy Simmons.
Okay.
This time it's under the patronage of Her Honor Mrs. Liebert
Okay.
and her husband Mr. Liebert. And in our countless meetings, she has very much made me aware that if the show does not begin on time, she is leaving, and therefore we cannot have a show.
And I know her very well. And whatever she says, she means.
Very much so. You understand? I really want to.
She's a lovely lady of standard, and whatever she says, she means.
I love her really and truly. She's been such a pillar of strength throughout this entire process, and I really give thanks to her. So make sure that when you come out and you witness a fantastic a spectacle like none other. I just met with the lighting and the camera people today to really decide on angles and stuff like that. Of course, we need to make
So
sure.
you're going all out, lighting and all kind of.
Well, of
things?
course, because everything I do it well.
Okay.
Okay, am I right, Honorable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. The musicians that are going to be there is actually a 13-piece orchestra, and it includes young Nivision female musicians as well. Emphasis on the Nivision female musicians that are going to be there.
Okay.
We also have an international act that's coming in, and she is going to play the viola. I know a lot of persons know about the violin.
Yes.
However,
I was wondering if you misspoke
no.
about the violin.
Yeah, no, we have a viola.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. The viola is like the cousin of the violin.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. And so that's going to be spectacular what we're doing. Of course, a lot of persons hear lecture and they're like, oh, boring. But I mean, if anybody's looking at me on YouTube, y'all can see that I am less than a boring character. Okay? I try not to be stale and thing. You know, I try to keep it zesty as possible. You understand? So the young people taught me that word. I'm not sure what it's supposed to mean, but I'm hoping it means something grand.
And so, the act on Sunday.
Yes.
Will you be the star? Because you said it's going to feature an orchestra.
Yes,
but
indeed.
Will you be the star of the show?
I don't know. I think everywhere I walk, I am the star of the show. I am the event, and the event is me. Okay. I'm just saying.
What instrument will you be playing on Sunday?
Oh, I'll be doing the organ, and that is why we're in a church primarily as well.
Okay.
Not only because of the aesthetics, because I really love the aesthetic in Gingerland Methodist Church. The fact that it's an arena style, and you can really see all angles of the stage really well. However, our primary investor, who is Eustace Warner of Warner's One Stop,
Yes.
he really wants an organ for the orchestra.
Okay.
And so we have definitely decided that we are going to our best keep it within the halls. I mean, we can't move an organ to NIPAC. I mean, we can, but it's going to take a lot of logistics, you know.
Of course, yeah.
And of course, speaking of NIPAC, Deslyn Williams Johnson is going to be the host of our event as well. Very much. Well, me and her, we're going to go back and forth with
And
all
she's
these.
pretty zesty as well.
Come on now, you better know. It's my girl. I love her. I love her to bits, honestly. And she herself has been such a support, honestly. She's the reason I'm here tonight.
Yes, she's the one who made contact with me and said, "Oh, Mr. Evelyn, it's going to be such a great show. I want him to be on the mark on Wednesday." I said, "No problem."
Lovely. And I really do appreciate you having me here to really speak on the event itself. You understand, we were driving through Gingerland earlier and we stopped by this place. What's the place called again? I'm not sure. Yeah.
Where in Gingerland was it?
Oh, church ground. Okay. I know that the chef's name is Alvin. Yes, and he had a thing there, and we sat there and we spoke about the event. By the way, y'all get his food. It's really nice food over there.
Okay.
Alvin's. I can't remember the name of his store,
Okay.
but it's Alvin's food, and he's really excited about the event as well.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. So,
Fantastic.
all generations, I'm telling you, from the young, the old, the in-between, and those who feel. You understand?
And you still haven't told us about your roots, because you have roots in Nevis and you have roots in Gingerland. You haven't told us.
Well, I mean, I'm going by them one by one, Honorable, as they come. You understand? As the questions come, I'm going. Yes, I definitely do have roots. My mom is actually a Broadbelt. Her name is Evelyn Broadbelt. I mean, she's married.
She's my very good friend as well.
Well, look at that.
Yes, and your grandmother was my very good friend, Ines.
What do you mean? Oh, okay.
She was my very, very good friend.
Oh, very good. You must tell me more about her. I came in the last shower.
Yeah, also probably you didn't know her then. Yeah, Ines Broadbelt was my very good friend.
Yes. Oh, very good. Yes. So I'm happy that you know my people. Yes. So you know that I am a extension of the good things that you have experienced with those people.
Yes.
In fact, I am the greater extension of those good things that you have experienced. You
are from good stock.
Come on now.
And your stock is from Hanley's Road.
Yes, indeed.
And you know Hanley's Road produces only the best.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna say it there exactly. Hanley's Road is I don't know what we say here, but you have to let me know what the culture is. Okay, right? Is there like a hashtag that we say for Hanley's Road?
Not really.
Not really.
Hanley's Road is the best.
Oh, we're gonna make one right now. How about that? I'll get back to you on that.
You'll probably have it in time for Sunday.
Yes, right. Indeed.
But it's wonderful to have you on the show tonight. I love to see young people like you get out there, project yourself well, and I can feel the talent that you have.
Thank you.
I'm sure that the folks who are going to attend the show on Sunday will not be disappointed.
Definitely. You really have to make sure, Honorable, to bring all of your constituents out as well. I mean, it's in your constituency, right in the heart of Gingerland.
And I'm honored that it's in my constituency.
Oh, come on now. Yes, indeed. But definitely on Sunday, that's this Sunday, that's 3 days from now.
Yes.
November the 13th in the year 2022, we're going to be at the Gingerland Methodist Church, really rocking down the house, you understand. Tickets are $25, and they are located at 4 very convenient locations.
Yes.
We have 2 locations in downtown Charlestown, one at the Charlestown Methodist Church office, and the other at the Museum of Nevis History.
Yes.
You can get your tickets from Eliezer Ramirez Dorset, there, who is the director. We also have a location convenient placed in Gingerland itself, for those who don't want to venture to town, at the Best Buy supermarket. They've graciously come on board as well.
Okay.
And of course, if there are any Nevisians that are in St. Kitts at any point in time, or any Kittitians that wish to make the trip over, which means y'all need to make the trip over, you can definitely take a short walk to Warner's One Stop in Bird Rock. It's just a short walk from Bird Rock to get your tickets there as well. I'm going to say very loudly online, on the airwaves, that the captain who we've graciously contacted has said that he can give a special concession to our Kittitian friends if we get enough tickets sold. So guys, if you really want to come out, encourage your family, friends, aunties, neighbors, enemies alike to come out and witness spectacular performances, not only from myself but all of my friends who have ventured over, our international act, and of course the female Nevisian musicians that are going to be joining our orchestra as well.
Fantastic. Well, I couldn't have said it as good as you have, and I think you have sold the event very well. So I think you have sold yourself very well as well, and I think people will be coming to the show on Sunday to experience, and it's just for an hour, right? So
yes.
Which means people must get there on time.
Oh, definitely.
Because
no.
A lot of the
Yeah.
time, sometimes people come to an event half an hour late. So if you get there late, you're going to be missing
everything. Oh, Mr. Honorable, the last show that we had, we started on time and we finished within 45 minutes.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
We don't play with that, okay?
So people need to be there on time.
Yes, indeed. And they told me that 3:30 was the best time for Nevisians on a Sunday.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Fabulous.
We're working with the research.
Well, I want to wish you all the very best in your event on Sunday.
Yes.
And, of course, The Visions love music, and I'm sure they're going to be there in their numbers to support you. It has been a pleasure having you on the Mark, and we look forward to seeing you on Sunday. You can give your last word.
Blessed love to you, Honorable, and thank you so much for allowing me this time. Once again, to the general populace that is listening, make sure you definitely show your face and show the faces of all of the people we're inviting to Vision, a musical hour of classics reimagined for all generations. We're going to be rocking down the house at Gingerland Methodist Church at 3:30 p.m. this Sunday, November the 13th, 2022. Please get your tickets from either Best Buy Supermarket in Gingerland, or the Museum of Nevis History, or the Charlestown Methodist Church office, or Warner's One Stop. It's an easy $25.
Thank you very much, Issa. I have the name right, Issa?
Issa Kamal.
Issa Kamal. All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and please give your mom my best regards.
Oh, definitely. She made sure to tell me, make sure you tell him that I'm your mother. So everybody, I hope you know that I have told you all that Aslyn Broadbelt Warner is definitely my mom.
All right.
Okay.
Please give her my love. And thank you. Thank you for coming. It's good having you. All the very best on Sunday.
Blessed love.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Issa Kamal. And of course, that was our very special guest on the Map program for tonight. We want to thank you for coming. And of course, we're going to continue with the rest of the show. And it's just about almost 8:30. So you have me with you for the next hour and a half. And of course, later on, we're going to be opening up the lines. But in the meantime, we're going to start, and we're going to be talking a little bit of politics, because politics is in the air. And so the Honorable Mark Brantley is not here to speak his politics tonight, but I am here, your constituency representative for Nevis number 3 from St. George, Gingerland. And of course, as I said, I'm sitting in for the Honorable Mark Brantley tonight, and we want to thank you for joining us here on the Mark. We have lots to share with you, and of course, we're going to be looking forward to you calling in. We're going to be looking forward to you calling in as well. And as I said, our numbers are 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. So later on, when the lines are opened, I'll be encouraging you to call in, and of course, we know whatever you want to put on the table, we will accept. And of course, we always tell you to be respectful when you call in. Of course, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to greet me with, whatever you want to say to the public, we ask that you have it put together and you try to be as respectful as possible. And so, I'm here tonight, as I said. We're going to be talking a little politics, because I said we know that politics is in the air, and we know we have a very big event coming up on Saturday. Before I get to that, though, I have to say that before I got here, I went to the primary school football that is being played. That was being played at the ETW Park. This evening we witnessed the semi-finals of the primary school football competition. The finals is set for Saturday, and we had 2 matches this evening. We had the Jocelyn Library Primary School coming up against the Charlestown Primary School. By the end of regulation time, the score was tied 2-2, and then they went to penalty shootout, and then Charlestown eventually won in the penalty. So Charlestown would have moved on to the finals. And then in the second game, it was the St. James's Primary School coming up against the St. Thomas's Primary School. St. James won that contest 4-2, and so St. James will be coming up against the Charlestown Primary in the finals this coming Saturday. We had quite a crowd at the EW Park tonight, a very excited crowd. Of course, we know once you have primary school children involved in any sport, people will be out in their numbers to support. And I really want to commend the persons who came out in their numbers this evening to support our primary school footballers. We had 4 schools on show this evening, and trust me, they did not disappoint. And of course, all of the schools had their support. They had their respective support from the various areas. And so come Saturday, there will be 2 games. There will be the first game to play for the 3rd and 4th positions. And so in that game, the Jocelyn Library Primary will come up against the St. Thomas's Primary. And then the second game, which will be the finals, we will have the St. James Primary coming up against the Charlestown Primary. And I know that will be 2 2 games that will be very competitive, very exciting. And so I'm encouraging persons to go out in their numbers to support our primary school footballers. They will be on show, and trust me, from what I saw tonight at the ETW Park and from the excitement and the vibes that were there at the ETW Park this evening, I know that will be carried over to Saturday, and Saturday will be even more exciting because it will be the finals. And so I'm encouraging persons to go out in their numbers and support primary school football on Saturday. And Saturday is a jam-packed day or evening because after the football finals on Saturday at the ETW Park, we will be moving to the heart of St. Thomas's. We will be moving to BG. We'll be moving to Barnes Gut. The big blue machine will be rolling into Barnes Gut, and we will be launching our candidate for the St. Thomas's constituency, Nevis 5. And of course, we all know it's the very charming and lovely and adorable and charismatic Latoya Jones. And so Latoya, St. Thomas's Parish, look out for Latoya on Saturday night. We will be launching her there at the community center in Barnesgut come Saturday night. And so we are looking for all of our supporters to come out in their numbers this coming Saturday as the big blue machine rumbles and rolls into Barnesgut. Of course, your CCM team will be there, and as I said, the star on Saturday night will be Princess Latoya Jones, who will be launched as the constituency candidate and soon to be the constituency rep for the St. Thomas's Parish. And so we're looking for you in your blue. Come on Saturday night to Barnesgut to support our brand new candidate. Yes, we have a brand new horse on Saturday who will be going onto the tracks very soon in the person of Miss Latoya Jones. I can assure you that you would not be disappointed. Of course, we're going to have some entertainment as well. The Grandmasters Band will be there, and as I said, all of the CCM team will be there. We'll be speaking, but as I said, our star for the night will be Latoya Jones. And of course, we know that Latoya, she is the opposition senator, and the deputy speaker in the National Assembly. And of course, I don't know if some of you had the opportunity to look at the Assembly last week, Friday, but Latoya had an opportunity to preside over a portion of the Assembly sitting on Friday, and she did a marvelous job. Congratulations to you, Latoya, for doing such an excellent job presiding over a section of the Assembly as Deputy Speaker on Friday. You sat there and you conducted yourself as if you were there for years. You seem so seasoned, and so congratulations to you, Latoya. And of course, the Big Blue Machine, we will be there to support you in our numbers come Saturday. And of course, I'm encouraging all of you. The action starts at 7:30 on Saturday night, and so we're encouraging persons to be out in their numbers, in their blue, at Barnesgut come Saturday. And so, as I said, we're going to be talking some politics tonight. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, I just wanted to highlight certain things with regarding to me and St. George's. Now, as I said, you're going to get your opportunity to call in. But before you do so, I wanted to highlight some stuff. I needed to set the record straight tonight, because we have a saying in the CCM: ignore the noise. And of course, we've been hearing a lot of noise. We've been hearing noise for years, and of course we know that the noise is intensifying, but a lot of the times we ignore the noise, but sometimes you have to answer to some of the noise that is coming. And so ever since I became a candidate, or ever since I became the constituency rep for the St. George's Parish, and ever since then, because of course I would have entered politics in 2017, December 2017, I ran and I won convincingly and handsomely in St. George, Gingerland. Of course, I want to thank the good people of St. George, Gingerland for your overwhelming support. And while I'm on that, let me say good night to the wonderful people in St. George, Gingerland. I want a special good night to the good folks up at Rollins, because I've been doing some campaigning up there, and oh my gosh, the reception has been warm. It has been so good. Thank you very much, Rollins, for the warm reception. Thank you very much for having me and inviting me. And of course, you have been so good to me for the past couple of days. Of course, it has been a pleasure speaking to you. I haven't finished yet. I still have to come back. But for those who I have met, the reception has been excellent. It has been overwhelming. And so, as I said, since I became the constituency rep for St. George, Gingerland, and I've ran 2 elections since then. I've ran 2 federal elections since then. And during those federal elections campaign, and even up to now, there has been some misguided folks, or who I would call ridiculously smart folks, who have been going through the length and breadth of St. George, Gingerland, and in Nevis, and they've been saying that Eric ain't do nothing for Gingerland. Eric ain't do nothing for St. George's Parish. Well, I'm here tonight to enlighten the listening public and those of you who are viewing via Facebook as well. I'm here to enlighten you on some of the things that I have done, and I want to make it absolutely clear that I have been doing for St. George and Gingerland long before I got into politics. And the information that I am going to share with you tonight would indicate that I have been doing and doing and doing in Gingerland long before 2017, when I got into politics. And so I'm just going to outline some of the facts, because, you know, here on the Mark, we speak only the truth. We speak only facts. And as I said, I will speak, and persons will have an opportunity, if you want to call in after to react to anything that I would have said, to feel free to call in. And so I want to set the record straight. I want to set the record straight because I, Eric Evelyn, the constituency representative for St. George, Gingerland, I have done and done and done for St. George. I have done and done and done for the constituents of St. George. And so let me just highlight some of the things that I've done in the constituency. And some of these things I'm going to highlight are things that I've done long before I entered politics. Let's speak to education. And of course, one of the things I want to highlight, I don't know when was the last time some of you were in Gingerland, but if you haven't been to Gingerland recently and you drive up to Gingerland now, when you look at the Gingerland Secondary School, I don't think you will actually recognize the school, because it is a complete makeover. Of course, we know that there has been the vocational wing of the Gingerland Secondary School that was recently constructed. Of course, one will be built in Charlestown at the Charlestown Secondary School as well, but we had a vocational center that was constructed there at the Gingerland Secondary School, and we have had a fantastic facelift of the entire school. We've had a fantastic facelift of the school. Only recently somebody sent me a WhatsApp message, and the person said, I don't even think the person supports me politically, but the person said, Eric, the Gingerland Secondary School looks sweet. And that is exactly the word that the person used. Up there looks sweet. And so for those of you who haven't been to Gingerland lately, take a drive. And those of you who pass Gingerland Secondary School on a daily basis, slow down, stop. If you're walking, stop and look at the Gingerland Secondary School. And I'm very proud, and I want to say a special kudos and thanks to the Honorable Troy Liber, the Minister of Education, for leading the charge in ensuring that we get such a fantastic and fabulous facelift of the Gingerland Secondary School. And it's not even finished yet, right? And of course, when we get all our equipment, we're going to have a lovely, lovely official opening of the vocational center. And so in the heart of Gingerland, right there at the Gingerland Secondary School, I am proud to be the area rep, because as I said, once you go there, some of you may not even recognize that area. I'm proud of the excellent work that has been done there, and it has been done under my representation of St. George Gingerland. Now, since I've been the rep for Gingerland as well, there has been some new walkways there. There has been some refurbishment work at the computer lab, the science lab, the library. I would have made monetary donations to the school. I could remember a couple of years ago when they achieved a particular percentage pass mark for CXC. I made a pledge, and I think I would have given $1,000. And I told them, once you reach to this particular percentage, you're gonna get this money. And I've kept my promise. And so anytime they get to that pass mark, the monetary contribution is theirs. Apart from that, I've made monetary contributions to the school. I have also donated school supplies to the schools for the students of Gingerland and further field, all the students who attend the Gingerland Secondary School to enjoy. Apart from that, I have been, and I have to say as well from the onset, that to build a community is just as important as building a road or building a hotel. And let me say that again. To build a community is just as important as it is to build a road or to build a hotel. And so for many years, I have been working overtime to build the fabric of the community of Gingerland. And all that I'm going to outline tonight, you will realize that. To the Gingerland Secondary School, I have been their chief announcer for sports for the past 23 years. Did you hear that? When you come to Ball Pasture, whose voice do you hear there on an annual basis? It is Eric Evelyn, and that is all part of my community service. That is all part of building the community, bringing the community together. And so I would have been that announcer for 23 years. Apart from that, for the past 17 years, now I have been a politician for only 4 years. For the past 17 years, I have donated monetary gifts to graduating students from the Hanleys Road area. And you remember that I was not the constituency rep at that time. I was just an ordinary citizen of Hanleys Road. And so I was given to graduates of the Gingerland Secondary School who were from Hanleys Road. I've been doing that for the past 17 years. I have also made a presentation of the Shirley Evelyn Memorial Award for the past 11 years. And that is all happening at the Gingerland Secondary School. And that's in the area of education. The Joycelyn Library Primary School, the same number of years I've been chief announcer at the high school, I've been the chief announcer for over 20 years for the Joycelyn Library Primary School as well. I've made monetary donations to the primary school. I have given school supplies to the primary school, and of course I continue to support the primary school, the secondary school, and the preschool as well. Since I've been the area rep, I have given to the school almost annually, and I've also given to the Gingerland preschool as well. We've had major improvements at the Gingerland preschool, major improvements at the Gingerland preschool since I became the area rep for St. George Gingerland. Then they say I am not doing anything. All of that is doing nothing. I also sponsored to students of the Gingerland preschool when they had that Prince and Princess show early this year for Child Month. That's in the area of education. Let's talk in the area of sports now. Now, in the area of sports, we've had some major improvements at the St. George's Recreation Grounds that we call ball pasture. That was done in 2019. We've had improvements at the Hard Times and the Hanley's Road playing fields. We have had resurfacing of the hard courts at Cronies in 2019. The courts were almost brand new. Apart from that, I have been part sponsor of the Eastern's cricket team. Well, and while we're talking about the Eastern's cricket team, we've had the construction, because as I said, when I came in as the Minister of Sport, I pledged that I will ensure that there is enhancement of all sporting facilities. I also pledged that we will ensure that all sporting facilities have bathroom facilities. Well, I'm proud to say that at the Zion playing field, we have done a bathroom facility there. We have done, apart from the bathroom facility, we have done a storeroom where the players can change, where they can store their gear, and so things are happening in St. George, Gingerland, in the area of sports. I'm also proud to say that we have been doing some work in terms of lighting our playing fields. We are doing some retrofitting of all of the playing fields on the island, where we're retrofitting the lights to use LED lights, energy saving lights, and so all of the fields that are lit, they will be getting new lights. And so we're currently working on some, and so we're asking you for your patience and your understanding. I was very proud earlier this week, I think it was either Monday or Tuesday, I think it was on Monday, when I journeyed to Zion and where we were testing the lights at Zion. And so the cricketers were there and they were playing under the lights at Zion. Did you hear me well? Lights are now at Zion. Now, we also have some lights installed at Hard Times. However, we've had a delay because, as I did indicate recently, we are doing this project in collaboration with Nevlec. And so we have to wait on Nevlec at times for us to get the lights connected. Now, up at the Hard Times playing field, we need three-phase electricity up at the field. Unfortunately, we do not have three-phase electricity up in that area, and so the three-phase electricity will have to be brought up from the island's main road, and so that is where the delay is up at the Hard Times ground. But I can tell the good folks at Hard Times that your lights will be coming soon. They say I ain't doing nothing. I don't know if they call all of that nothing, right? And as I said, I am proud that the lights have been switched on. They have been tested at Zion. The fellows, the guys who were there playing cricket that evening, they were very pleased with the lights at Zion. And so very soon we'll be having night cricket over in Zion, and once the lights turn on up at Hard Times, we'll be having night cricket at Hard Times as well. Things are happening throughout the island, and things are happening in St. George, Gingerland, under my watch. Let's go to the area of, I forgot to also mention that the Village Premier League that is normally played at Hard Times, I also assist in sponsoring that league as well. I am putting my money where my mouth is in Gingerland, and I've been doing it for a very long time. Let's go to the area of culture. In the area of culture, and this is something that I am exceptionally proud of. We, the Concerned Citizens Movement led Nevis Island administration, we would have invested in a state-of-the-art facility there in the heart of Gingerland, the David Freeman Center of Excellence. Over $1 million was spent up there, and they say I ain't doing nothing in Gingerland. Over $1 million was spent on that facility. And you know the good thing about it, everybody who walks into that facility, everybody speaks to how nice it is. When we have folks coming over from St. Kitts to play for the Calypso, they are amazed to see the facility that we have in the countryside. And the people of Gingerland ought to be proud of that facility. And I am also proud to say that because of that facility that was constructed in the heart of Gingerland, we had, for the very first time, the staging of the entire Culturama Festival in 2021, where we had the virtual festival. The entire festival was hosted there. I know it was a virtual festival. Yes, it was not the huge festival that we normally have for Culturama, but nonetheless, it was Culturama, and we had a number of shows there, and they went off extremely well. And so we can brag, the Gingerlanders can brag, that we have hosted Culturama. The only other parish to host Culturama is Gingerland. And it is because your CCM administration invested in the David Freeman Center of Excellence. And of course, since we've had the David Freeman Center there, we've had some folklore classes, we've had a number of activities taking place there, graduations, parties, church functions, and so the center is there for the use of everyone. We wanted to decentralize some of the activities. Of course, we know that there are a lot of activities. Most of the activities always take place in Charlestown. And so now we have the David Freeman Center. And of course, we know that Gingerland has always been the mecca of culture, the mecca of folklore. And we want to ensure that the folklore, our culture in Gingerland, does not die. And so that is one of the reasons why we constructed the David Freeman Center of Excellence, that we could have classes there, people could learn the different cultural art forms, and our culture can continue. Now, we have in Gingerland, also down in the Hanleys Road area, we have been teaching steel pan there for a number of years. And I'm very, very proud that we have a very vibrant steel pan program in the Hanleys Road area that is feeding through the entire Gingerland and the entire Nevis community. Now, that steel pan program, the brainchild, the late, the Honorable Vance Amy was the brainchild of that program, the steel pan program. But you know, one good thing, yours truly, your humble servant was one of the persons put in charge of that program to pioneer that program. And that program has come a very long way. We have 3 steel pan groups there in Gingerland. We have the children, we have the teens, and we have the adults. And so a number of persons have been benefiting from steel pan lessons. And of course, I have seen the steel pans, the steel pan groups, the 3 groups play at different functions. They have come a long way. And as a matter of fact, I think some of them are going to St. Kitts for a competition in December. And so that steel pan program was pioneered by yours truly. They say, I ain't doing nothing in Gingerland. So many young persons are benefiting from that program. And they're so excited about learning steel pan. And they're learning it at absolutely no cost to them. As we talk about culture as well, in 2019, I was fortunate, very fortunate, to lead the St. Kitts Nevis delegation to Carifesta. And there at Carifesta in Trinidad and Tobago, I can tell you that the delegation from St. Kitts and Nevis turn up the place in Trinidad and Tobago. And you know who are the favorites from in Trinidad and Tobago? Some of the favorites, our local masquerade. And you know what? Most of the local masqueraders who traveled to Trinidad and who were the stars in Trinidad and Tobago were from Gingerland. And that was facilitated by yours truly as well. Last year, our musicians for masquerade traveled all the way to Dubai. And you know where all those musicians are from for the masquerade? They're from Gingerland, facilitated by yours truly again. Delhi ranks traveled as well to Dubai, facilitated by yours truly. Again, they say I ain't doing nothing for Gingerland. Well, where the masqueraders come from, where the musicians come from, where Delhi ranks come from, they all from Gingerland, and I have been there to support them going to Trinidad and Tobago and to Dubai. They say I ain't doing nothing for Gingerland. But the people of Gingerland have benefited tremendously since I became the representative for the good people of St. George, Gingerland. I would also say as well that because I have been such an integral part of the community of Gingerland. Remember I said I have been trying hard over all these years to build the fabric of my community of Gingerland, which I'm proud of. And because I've been so integral to all that happens in Gingerland, when we started Gingerama in 2001, I was the secretary of the committee. We hosted some very successful Gingerama events, and then eventually I became the chairman of the committee, which I am still the chairman of the committee, and we are planning a festival for next year, and so you'll be hearing much more about that in the coming months, right? So that is about some of what I've done with regards to culture in Gingerland and how I've been trying to move Gingerland and Gingerlanders forward. In the area of infrastructure, we've had road construction in Hanley's Road, in Rollins, in Clegot, in Zion, in Webb's Ground, and the road construction will continue. We've had wall construction in Fenton Hill, Hull Ground, Webb's Ground, Zion, and we've also had some work done at Boring Bridge. Right? When they say nothing happened at Gingerland, they say I ain't doing anything for Gingerland. We've also had the construction of the Nevis Peak National Park Interpretation Center there at Hard Times. Then they say nothing happened in Gingerland. Over in the Harris's Village area, we've taken running water to certain parts of Harris's for the very first time under my watch. We've had the new water reservoir up at Stony Hill, and very soon one will be going up at Pond Hill under my watch. Then they say nothing happened at Gingerland. Eric nah do nothing. In the area of community development, we've had improvements at the Pond Hill and the Charles Walters Community Center at Hanley's Road, as well as at the Corn Mill. We've had Pond Hill and we've had Hanley's Road air conditioned. We know now persons normally have a lot of activities at the community centers, and persons were complaining sometimes that the rooms were too hot, and so we've had some air conditioning put in at Pond Hill as well as at Hanley's Road. Down at Hanley's Road as well, we would have fenced the entire facility, and we would have put some gates on. Of course, we wanted to get the field in some better shape, and so we would have placed gates on the field down there in the Hanley's Road area. And so a lot of things have been happening. Now, in the area of housing, we were able to procure some land down in the Rice's area. Of course, I know people have been saying, well, the houses ain't started, but the fact is, we would have procured the land. And of course, the thing is now with housing and land, persons have to go to the bank. Now you have to go to the financial institution and approach the bank to get your loan on your own. And so persons have been trying, and unfortunately most of the persons that would have tried have not been successful. We are hoping soon some persons can be successful, and so the building can start down there in the Rice's area. And of course we will be looking for other lands in the Gingerland area so we can continue our housing in those areas. Now I've said all of this, right? But wait, I ain't finished yet, because everybody knows that I'm from Hanley's Road, right? And I have been working. I have placed my entire life for Hanley's Road, and so I don't want the other areas of Gingerland to get jealous. But the fact is, most of what I've done in Hanley's Road were done before I got into politics. And so I am going to highlight some of the stuff that I've done in my village of Hanley's Road, right? And Hanley's Road is an integral part of Gingerland. So if I have done for Hanley's Road, I have done for the whole of Gingerland. And in the Hanley's Road area, I have been the president of the Empire Sports Club for over 20 years. And that club has done an enormous amount of community work in the Hanley's Road area. Now, when the club celebrated its 25th anniversary, the club would have started a program where we take our seniors out every December. And I am proud to say that I have been the pioneer of that program as well. And so we take our seniors out every year. They do an island tour. They have been coming here to the Eastern Caribbean's Powerhouse as well. And we have gone to several places, including hotels, for lunch. And that has been happening for the past 17 years. I have been a politician for only 5 years. This has been happening for the past 17 years. Now, I have been the chief organizer for numerous cleanup campaigns in the Hanley's Road area. We have entered several village competitions, and every time we enter the village competition, Hanley's Road placed first. Right? And as I said, remember, it is just as important to build a community as it is to build a road or a hotel. You must build the fabric of the community. Now, I have been the chief organizer for all, and when I say all, I mean all of the Christmas tree lightings in Hanley's Road since its inception. Of course, the Empire Sports Club, we are the community group that is charged with organizing the Christmas tree lighting. But as the president, I have to lead from the front. I could recall when I was there, we have a very tall tree, which I donated as well to the community. And I think it was last year. When I was up in the bucket truck, putting on some of the lights, a lady passed and she said, "Eric, what are you doing up there?" I said, "Well, the community of Hanley's Road belongs to all of us. I'm the president of the club. And so I have to lead from the front. So I'm here up in the tree." And so all of the Christmas tree lightings that have taken place in Hanley's Road have been pioneered by the Empire Sports Club, led by your capable president, yours truly. Now, I've assisted numerous persons in Hanley's Road and in Gingerland as well with employment since I became your area representative. I have assisted with persons in Hanley's Road and other parts of Gingerland with housing for the less fortunate. As I would have indicated earlier, I would have been providing monetary donations to students at both the primary and the secondary level for the past 17 years. And I would have spoken already about the free steel pan lessons that has been provided to the folks of Hanley's Road. Now, there are much more that I've done, but I left this one for last because I really wanted to highlight this one. Now, it comes back to my saying about building the community and building the fabric, meaning touching the lives of everyone in the community to become good citizens. Now, in 2009, when the Empire Sports Club celebrated its 30th anniversary, we, the club, launched what is called the Boys Together for Change program. Here again, it was pioneered by yours truly. And this program was really meant because over the years, Hanley's Road has gotten the reputation of being very calm, very tranquil, very peaceful, very friendly. And it's not about me bragging or anything like that. I'm just stating some facts politics. Because as I said, we have some very misguided and ridiculously smart and ridiculously bright people out there who keep saying that I haven't done anything for Gingerland and I am not doing anything for Gingerland. So I had to come on the mark tonight to set the record straight, to tell the whole world that I've done more than my share for the whole of Gingerland long before I got into politics. And so we launched this program, Boys Together for Change, in 2009. And that program, we brought some young men in the community together from 12 years up, and we had meetings monthly. Every month we met at the Charles Walters Community Center, and we met there for some developmental sessions. And I am so proud of that program, and I am so proud of the young men who were part of that program. Here again, we were building the fabric of Hanley's Road, because no matter what developments you get, if you have a society where all people do is commit crime and steal, it doesn't make any sense. If you look at some place like Haiti, there are certain communities you can't go in there to say building a hotel, because they're going to vandalize the place, they're going to steal. And so it is important that when you have development in any constituency or any community, that you build the fabric of the community. And that is what I've been doing all these years. And so the Boys Together for Change program touched the lives of over 20 young men in Hanley's Road. And I'm so proud of that program that I'm going to call some of the names of the young men who were part of the program. I think I tried to remember all, but I couldn't remember all. But the reason I'm going to call the names is because I'm so proud of them. And because of the fact that I'm speaking the truth tonight. I haven't made up anything that I have said here on the mark tonight. Everything that I've said here tonight are facts. And that is why I can call the names of these outstanding young men in Hanley's Road and in the community of Nevis. And so the Boys Together Change program would have touched the lives of many. I'm going to call some of the names: Akian Williams, David Brown, Derry Hendrickson, Kitaro Evelyn, Romario Daniel, Shurandi Merchant, Teshran Maynard, Tishon Maynard, Calden Maynard, Clive Maynard, Disani Maynard, Dylan Maynard, Tyrell Gittins, Shukri Rogers, Kejari Grant, Trevor Nisbet, Trevin Nisbet, Devin Nisbet, Clejon Hamilton, Clejano Hamilton, Delvis Pemberton, DeAndre Somersel, Deshaun Phillip. Now, if you see any of these young men anywhere, they are respectable young men in the society. And I'm proud that I would have made a contribution to them being the respectable and excellent young men and excellent workers they are. I'm sure all the names that I've called here, wherever they work, I am sure their supervisors or their employers can say without the shadow of a doubt that they are great workers. They are all ambitious young men. And so all of the programs we are having now, like the mentorship program and so on, I would have been, or the Empire Sports Club would have been, the trailblazer in Hanley's Road to ensure that our young men become respectable individuals in the society and do not get involved in deviant behavior, because that is important when you're building a country. And because my club, Empire, and yours truly did such an excellent job with these young men, I could recall one December, some of the parents put together and they sent me to Marriott for a weekend. Now, if I wasn't making a contribution, would they have done that? Would they have done that? Do you call that doing nothing in Gingerland? Last year, I was home. It was in December. I heard a knocking on my door. When I looked out, it was one of these same respectable young men. Came to my door. And he came and he said, and I was very touched by that visit. He came and he said, you're a politician and everybody is looking to you for something. Everybody wants something from you. But I brought something for you. And he brought a cider. And you know, to be honest with you, I felt so good that I felt like I just won $1 million. It was such a moving moment that I felt like I'd won $1 million. Because when you touch the lives of people and they can appreciate you that way, it means that you are doing something. It means that you are doing something good. And if I wasn't doing something good, then I don't think I would have been recognized by the parents, and of course not by this young man who decided, well, listen, I have to go and show my appreciation. And so I have taken the time tonight. To outline some of the things that I have I've sought to do in St. George, Gingerland, in my constituency. And I just want to tell the folks out there who keep going up and down the place and saying, I ain't do nothing, Eric ain't do nothing. And, you know, it's an insult, especially for persons who live in Gingerland, to say that I haven't done anything. And there's some of them in Gingerland who are masquerading all over the place and saying, I ain't do nothing. Well, if I have outlined so much, and any one of you considered I haven't done anything, it means you are telling a blatant lie. You are telling a blatant lie. And some of the same people who are telling these blatant lies are people who go to church every Sunday. Some of them preaching, some of them singing in the choir. And they walking through the length and breadth of Gingerland and say, Eric ain't do nothing for Gingerland. So all of what I've outlined, you're still saying I have done nothing? And I had to set the record straight, because last week as well, one of my supporters in St. George, Gingerland, said to me, Eric, I was in town and an individual met me in an establishment and he said, you do not know Gingerland. You do not know Gingerland. And you know, it bothered me. You know why? Because all of my life, I have given my entire life to Hanley's Road and to Gingerland. My entire life has been around serving people, service to people. And there are people here in this little island of Nevis, some misguided and ridiculously smart and ridiculously bright people here on the island of Nevis, who do nothing but sit around every day and criticize us who are doing, and you can't see what they have done. Because all of those who are walking up and down and say, I have done nothing, ask them to point out one thing that they have done in Gingerland. Even those in Gingerland who are walking up and down and say, I have done nothing, ask them, what have they done? What have they contributed to the island of Nevis, to Gingerland, or to the island of Nevis? And I was appalled the other day because the person said, the individual who said, as the old people would say, the person who lives in town, taking out his text on me, and say, I ain't doing nothing for Gingerland, I have done nothing for Gingerland, that individual, I have to consider him a failure, because he had a thriving business, and the business failed, and not only failed, but it failed miserably. And so you have people here on the island of Nevis who have failed miserably, and they want to continue on a daily basis to criticize me. And I also want to make the point, because the people in the opposition who are now criticizing me and saying that I have done nothing, that is the same party that relentlessly pursued me for me to run for them. And they were doing it for years. Yes, I'm going to set the record straight. They were doing it for years. They were after me for years. And you know what they kept saying every time they came? You are the only person at Gingerland could beat Vance. Every time they came, that's what they said. You are the only person at Gingerland could beat Vance. Well, why were they telling me that? They were telling me that because they knew I was doing a lot in Gingerland. So now the same people who wanted me to run for them because I was doing so much say I ain't doing nothing for Gingerland. One of their spokespersons who was coming to me every minute came to my office up at agriculture. Spent almost an hour at one time there till I get even frightened. When I ran for CCM and won, he stopped speaking to me. But he was coming after me relentlessly to say, we want you to run. And I can tell some of the candidates for the opposition in Gingerland, because you know they change candidates every election up there. Some of the candidates who ran for the opposition up there, you got an opportunity to run because you were the second choice. I was the first choice. And they can't deny that because it is the fact. It is a fact. I was the first choice for the opposition in Gingerland. And so some of you who ran and are now saying that I ain't do nothing, you were the second choice. So bear that in mind. If I had said yes, you would not have gotten an opportunity to be on the ballot for the opposition. And so you have the hypocrisy where they were pursuing me. And why were they pursuing me? Because they knew I was doing a lot in Gingerland. They wanted me to run so badly for them. They were after me for years. But I said no. And I'm happy I rejected them. I'm happy I rejected them. And because I know I rejected them, they go up and down the place and say, oh, Eric, now I do not know Gingerland. The same Eric who they wanted to run. And I can boldly state here tonight, some of you may not agree with me, but I can boldly state here tonight that there is no, based on my community service resume that I have, and you know what they also said, they also try to make fun of me sometimes. They said that the only thing I can do is read eulogy. They say the only thing I can do is read eulogy. But you don't realize when somebody asks you to do a eulogy, they trust you, they have confidence in you, and they know you can do it properly. And that was part of my community service. When people ask me to do anything in the community, I do it. I never turn my back on the people of Gingerland. Whatever they ask me to do, I do. Everything that happens in that constituency, Eric Evelyn is a part of. And that is why I said I've been working on building that community to have a good fabric, a good Gingerland. And a good Gingerland is a part of a good Nevis. And so when they're up and down and saying that I ain't do anything, a lot of them were rejected. And as I said, they were second choice. And so I thank God that I decided to go where I am with the Concerned Citizens Movement. And I thank God. I thank God that He has been blessing me. I pray and I work hard. And as I said, people want to convince other people that we, on this side of the aisle, we are failures, but we are not. I have a fantastic track record, which is factual. I've just outlined here. I have a fantastic community service resume that nobody can touch. And I was about to say it, and I'm going to say it now. That based on all of the work that I've done, I didn't even mention all of the events that I've been the MC for. Culturama, weddings, parties, anything you want me for, I am there. And you know what? I've done it free of charge as well. Many people tell me charge. I can't charge. And that I love to be part of my community. I love to help. And so based on all of the community work that I have done to uplift the constituency of St. George, Gingerland, I can boldly state that I don't think there is any politician, neither in St. Kitts or Nevis, past, present, or to come, who have been embedded in the community as I have been. I don't think there's anyone. And I think that is a fact as well. Some of you may want to debate me on that. But bring your notes and come and let us compare. Let us compare notes. And as I said, I want to thank God because He has blessed me. He has blessed me. Because everything I do, I put my all in it. I put 150% in. And God has blessed me richly. And I want to tell all the persons who are failures out there, thank God. God is good to me and I have not been a failure. I work hard, I pray, and God blesses me. And so wherever I go, I leave my legacy. Ask the folks here at Von Radio. Ask Melissa. Ask Webo. Ask all who work with me at Von. Ask up at the Agriculture Department. 32 years. An unblemished record there in agriculture. And you know, when I left, every time I leave certain places, people want me to come back. I just want to say this one little thing quickly before I open the lines. I left the Department of Agriculture as the permanent secretary in 2017. And in 2018, when the Open Day was being hosted at the Villa in Charlestown, I left my office and walked up. I support everything in agriculture. And when I got there, I was amazed. Because as soon as I got there, many persons in the Department of Agriculture came to me and said, "Thank God you reach." I said, "What happened?" "We want you on the mic." "Thank God you reach, Eric. We want Mr. Evelyn, thank God you reach. We want you on the mic." I said, "Well, why you all want me on the mic?" Because they knew what an excellent job I normally do on the mic. They want you on the mic. I said, "Why you all want me on the mic? Don't you all have a communications officer?" You know what some of them told me? The lazy person who they bring here as communication officer, we can't find him. We can't find him anywhere on the grounds. And so I had to take the microphone and had to stay there at the villa for the rest of the afternoon. And I want you to do your research and find out who was the communication officer at Agriculture in 2018. That's all I'm going to say. But I want to let the listening public know and the viewing public know that this servant of the people, I consider myself a servant of the people. I have been serving people all of my life. Since in high school, I've been there all of my life. The 4-H, part of the Nevis Youth Council. And I've been trying my best to build the fabric of the community. I'm going to open the lines now. It's just about 24 minutes after 9. I'm going to open the lines. I still have a lot to say, but I'm going to open the lines for anyone who wants to call in. If you want to react to anything I've said, if you want to call in and lay anything on the table, the lines are now open. 869-469-1616 or 1700. The lines are open, but I just want to ensure the good people of Gingerland that you have a servant. You have a servant in yours truly who have worked and worked and worked for you and who will continue to work for you once God gives me health and strength. Let's go to the lines. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Good evening. I called about 4 weeks ago. I'm just counting my neglect that nobody came to check the post desk. P321.
Oh, let me write that down. P321?
Yes.
And where that is located? Where that is located?
By the Charlestown Primary School.
Charlestown Primary School, P321.
Yes. P321.
Okay. All right. I will pass that message on. I hope somebody from Nevlec is listening, but I will also pass the message on.
Well, I also filed a complaint there about 3 months ago too, so.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. We are sticking with the phone lines. Anyone else is on the line? It's 25 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock, and we have opened the lines. I have been quite long with my opening, as the Premier would say, with my little soliloquy, but it's something that I had to do. I had to set the record straight because, as I said, we have these misguided and ridiculously smart people who keep saying that Eric ain't doing nothing for Gingerland, and I had to make sure that I set the record straight. We go back to the phone lines. You're live and on the mark. Hello?
Yeah, Eric, you forget when you sponsor the dominant tournament.
You see it is it, right? There is so many things that I've done in Gingerland that I couldn't include everything. Yes, you're right. I did sponsor a domino tournament down in Hanley's Road at Big Six Bar.
And then you forget when you sponsor the white goods.
How could I forget that? And that was such an important thing. I sponsored a white goods cleanup earlier this year for the whole of Gingerland. That cost me thousands of dollars. me personally cost me thousands of dollars, but I wanted to do it for the people of Gingerland because a lot of people in Gingerland who have a lot of white goods, and they had no means of getting rid of the white goods. And so your humble servant, they say I ain't doing nothing in Gingerland, but ask those who are talking, what have they done?
Eric,
Yes?
Eric, thank you for what you have done to enhance and sponsorship of the BPLE.
Yes.
And I'm hoping for you to sponsoring it pretty soon again.
And of course, once the league comes back, you know that I will always be there. So have absolutely no fear. Your representative, your servant, the servant of the people will always be there. Thank you very much, caller. We have another caller online. Good evening, you're live and on the mark.
Good evening, Mr. Evelyn.
Good evening, how are you doing?
I'm not doing badly.
I think I know this voice.
Your neighbor.
Yes.
And I must say that most of what you've been saying, as far as I've been listening, I wouldn't say all. I don't know about all. But
So you'll learn some things tonight then?
For me?
Yeah.
Well, I believe I would have known most of what you did.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to give that to you.
Okay.
So that means you got to look out for my society just as good.
Well, I look out for everybody, you know. You know that, right?
Okay.
You know that I look out for everyone, including you.
Me?
Of course.
Oh, when I lunch? Oh, that's what I called to talk about.
All right, talk to me.
Nevis Blind, Light and Visually Impaired Society
Mm-hmm.
will be having our November lunch on the 23rd of this month.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 Wednesdays from now.
Okay.
I'm not really advertising what we're having tonight because I want to make sure everything is, in order.
But knowing you always advertise what you're having.
Well,
So
okay,
that's
you want
strange
to
of you
know?
tonight.
We'll have ginger beer drink.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Marby.
Mm-hmm.
We have the passion fruit punch.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have, did I say ginger beer?
Yes.
And hopefully lemonade. So we'll have 5 different drinks. We try to do local.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have water because some people just take water instead of a drink. 5 drinks run out well. They take the water,
Mm-hmm.
We'll be having scallop potato, macaroni pie, hopefully breadfruit cheesy.
Okay.
Hopefully. We'll have chicken bake and also with gravy.
Okay.
We'll have fish, just pot fish.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have mutton and we'll also have pork.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have seasoned rice.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have rice and beans,
Mhm.
pink beans.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have, if any fruit come along, well, whoever gets there first, they will get fruit.
Mhm.
Once we have enough to give
Okay.
everybody, they will get.
Mm-hmm.
Just so long as we get some fruit.
Okay.
The cost is just 25.
Well, how come you ain't call cornmeal tonight?
Oh, cornmeal, of course. No, sorry. You done the thing with you. That you come go look now. Yeah, we'll have cornmeal.
That's one of my favorite.
Yeah, we'll have cornmeal,
Mhm.
and we will have what we call ground food,
Okay.
like cassava, sweet potato, and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we will have that because, we have that special table right there by itself.
Mm-hmm.
That whoever come, they will just go to that.
Right.
Okay, so I think that is what I forgot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But we also will be having, as I was saying, the cost is $25. If you have tickets, you use your tickets. If you
Mhm.
don't have any tickets, you still have a chance
Okay.
to come. What we find, though, is that persons come very early, especially who don't have tickets,
Mm-hmm.
so they make sure. And I want to thank the general public for the support, because sometimes persons come to look to lunches,
Mm-hmm.
and because they see the food, they smell the food, we give fresh food, and so they will buy an extra 1 or extra 2.
Okay.
And that is very good,
Mhm. Mm-hmm.
And the general public, they do support us, and we are appreciative of them. Last year, we didn't do any in November, so we couldn't give our persons in the community. When I say community, I'm talking about the island of Nevis.
Right.
As far as we can reach, not just persons who are blind or visually impaired,
Mm-hmm.
but persons with other disabilities. We try to reach them as well
Right.
while we can. And so the more the people in the community support us,
Mm-hmm.
the better we can do, because things are hard these days.
Right.
So who knows, who might get an extra $20 on their monies here, there, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I would really like that for them.
Okay.
And so we are working hard towards that. And Mr. Evelyn?
Yes?
Tell the rest of your ministers and then come up.
Okay.
When I vote for you or any minister, we vote for them.
Of course.
So I expect them to come on up and support. And so whatever you're doing, keep doing.
Amen.
And
continue to pray for me as well. Continue to pray for me, eh?
First recipient of the Shirley Evelyn Award.
I did say that again? Say that again.
You heard me.
I didn't hear you well. I was talking. Say what you said. Say it again.
What were you saying to me?
You said something about the Shirley Evelyn Memorial Award.
That you didn't hear. You were saying something to me? When I continue talking to me?
Yeah, I said I didn't hear what you just said about the Shirley Evelyn Award.
My daughter was the first recipient.
Great. I hope she still have that plaque, you know.
Of course you have it.
Good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's just that well, she don't really teach English A and B now. She teaches Spanish and French, but God has been good. So you keep trying your best.
Thank you.
You know, that is what we have to give a person what belongs to them.
That's right.
And we don't have to like a person.
Precisely.
To do it, you know? So that is what's happening there. So please come out as usual. Support
I
us.
always support. I always, because Trudy always bring me my ticket.
Well, you don't give me a blank time, so me left it to Trudy.
Well, you all are one.
yes, that is true.
Okay.
Yeah, before I go, Mr. Evelyn, quickly, I want to thank the persons in the public who would have donated, be it a case of chicken, eat the mutton, and, you know, anything with name donation.
Okay.
We really appreciate.
Okay.
And we appreciate our helpers as well.
Okay.
Because sometimes persons tend to forget the persons who are really there helping us, you know?
Okay.
And so, God bless them.
And next time you have a lunch, check me. I'll give you I'll donate something as well. Because I'm your neighbor and you never ask me for a donation.
Well, me only beg certain people. So you realize that, right?
Me don't know.
Well, if you can't do it this time, another time.
Of course, you know me and your friends, we go way back. So you know you can ask me for anything. Huh? You're learning a lot of things tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good night. Okay.
Bye.
Do we have another call online? Let's go back to the phones. You're live and on the mark. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
Mr. Evelyn.
Hi.
I would like to use this media.
Yes.
To let you know that there is sorry, not you, the water company, that there is a break of the line up by the Seventh Adventist Church and what they're wasting.
Okay. When did this happen?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I sight there up to tonight.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Have a blessed night.
Absolutely. So there's a broken line at the church there, Seventh-day Adventist Church. Yes, do we have another call online? Okay, I just wanted to continue because there's something I should have said which I didn't say as well. And my good friend Jennifer says, you know, you give somebody what belongs to them. And I agree with her. Because whether you like me or not, you can't deny these facts. These are facts. Let's go back to the lines. You're live and on the mark. I've missed that call. Caller, could you try again, please? As I was about to say, right? I should have mentioned this, that when I was talking about Handys Road and my work in the community, my excellent resume of community service, I should have said that in Handys Road, and anybody could challenge me on this, I have touched every household in Handys Road through my various programs. Let's go back to the lines. You're live and on the mark.
Good evening, Honorable Evening.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm great, how are you doing?
I am doing pretty good.
Good to hear that. Allow me to say this, right?
Sure.
On the 15th of this month, the Honorable Dr. Arikana Chihombowi.
Boy, you have a heavy name, the
Zimbabwe. And she was the former AU diplomat to the United States.
Okay.
Very influential woman in the world, black woman, is going to be in Barbados. That is on the 15th. And then I think she will be in St. Lucia on the 17th. In case not many persons know who she is. Like I said, she was the representative for the AU, or the African Union, to the United States. Not too long ago. But she has been very instrumental in the United States in trying to bring the black people together.
Okay.
And standing up for them. She has met many struggles, but she's a very, very brilliant woman. She's also a medical doctor and a lecturer. And she was also very instrumental in forming what is now called ADDI. And what is this? It is the African Diaspora Development Institute. And what they're seeking to do is to bring black people together.
Right.
And especially those of us here in the Caribbean. They're seeking to form links between the Caribbean and Africa, where we would be able to fly from the Caribbean much more easily to African countries rather than having to go through via Europe.
Okay.
Or even if we have to go through Europe, eventually that is the aim, that they want to eventually have direct flights from the Caribbean to Africa. I think Antigua is very instrumental in that.
Okay.
Barbados and also Jamaica and other countries are coming on board. So, like I said, she is going to be in Barbados on the 15th and in St. Lucia on the 17th. I just wanted to make the people aware of that.
Okay.
If I get a chance, honestly, I would go to hear her.
Okay.
You know, also the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Motley, has been a very influential voice as well, standing up for black people. So could you imagine what is going to happen with these two women on stage?
Right.
So I just wanted to bring that to the people.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for allowing me to do that.
Absolutely.
Eric, have a good night.
You have a wonderful night as well. And thanks for calling in. Do we have another caller? Okay. As I was saying a while ago, with what I've just outlined, especially with my work in the Hanley's Road area, I can boldly state that I have touched every household in Hanley's Road. And as I said, this has nothing to do with politics now, because this is what I've been doing for practically all of my life. And bearing in mind, I wasn't doing anything because I was interested in politics, you know. I wasn't interested in politics. I'm sure the Premier would have said this here on the program many times. Persons in the constituency of St. George practically begged me and asked me to be the candidate, because you know why they asked me? Because of the fact that I kept doing and that is why it puzzles me now when persons, even in Gingerland, who know better, could openly lie to people and say, Eric, nah do nothing for Gingerland. Eric, nah do not know Gingerland. And I mean, I don't understand how people who live there in the constituency in particular, who knows that I've been involved in everything that happens in Gingerland, I'm there. Tell me something that happens in Gingerland that I'm not a part of. And as I said, it's all about building the fabric of that community. And once you have a strong community, you have a strong fabric, it is the precursor to any development that will come, whether in St. George, Gingerland, or any part of Nevis. And so I personally, I would always encourage and I would always advocate, because we find nowadays that persons generally do not get involved in community work. And that is why some communities have lost their way. And that is why so many of our young men have lost their way, because people are not getting involved in community work. And when you have people involved in community work, it builds the morale of the community. It builds the confidence and the esteem of the individuals who you work with. And it's because of the fact that I know that these are the things that build a country. That is why I have been so involved in so much community work in all these years. And as I said, I know, and I mean, when I was running for the first time, the NRP people, the opposition people said that I'm dunce, and I don't have any degree. I don't have any masters. I don't have any bachelors. But I have common sense, and I know how to communicate with people, and I know how to deal with people. Let's go back to the lines. You're live and on the mark. Hello?
Honorable Eric Evelyn.
Good night. How are you?
I am wonderful.
Yes, you're live and on the mark.
On the mark, so yes.
Yes, you're on.
But I just call you, tell you, no make nobody stress you.
No. I just wanted to state some facts.
People been there before you, and the things that you are doing, them not gonna do. Gingerland is a big area. Gingerland got one project for all the years of government. Over Alexis side got a million project, if you ask me. You're trying your best. Don't make nobody stress you. Nevis people is too ungrateful. And no matter how much you give them, the only thing gonna fool most of Nevis people here are graveyard dust. That's when them laying down on their back in them graves. With that, have a good evening and continue doing what you do.
Thank you. You have a good night as well. Thank you for calling. Do we have another caller? Not as yet. And so, as I was saying, it is important that all of us try as much as possible to get more involved in community work. Unfortunately, people nowadays, they don't want to get involved in community work because you know what? Everybody wants paid for everything that they do now. So if you're going to have a community cleanup, everybody wants to get paid. You're trying to have something in the community, nobody wants to do volunteer work. But that is what I've known all of my life. And that is what I will continue to do. I could recall one of my friends once used to tell me, Eric, you should not be doing all this MCing work and doing it for free. I said, because I love to do it. He said, you should at least charge something to buy clothes. I said, no, I will not charge because it's just not within me to charge. It's just a part of me. And I mean, that is what I've known for my entire life. And that is what I've said. That is why I said that I've given my entire life to people. And that is what I will continue to do. Let's go back to the phone lines. You're live and on the mark. We missed that call. Caller, could you try again? You're live and on the mark. Good evening.
Good night, Mr. Evelyn.
How are you?
I'm fine. Talk your piece.
Yes, of course.
Because I hear them when they talk and they say how you are not doing anything.
So all of what you heard here tonight, you consider it as nothing?
No matter with them. You continue doing what you're doing here.
Thank you.
And God bless you.
Thank you very much.
You will get your reward.
Amen. I'm already getting my reward because God is blessing me every day.
All right. That's good. Okay, good night.
Thank you very much.
Mrs. Hilly Liebert, good night.
All right. Thank you very much. Good evening. You're live and on the mark. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Evelyn.
Yes.
I've known you even before you became a politician, and you were always a wonderful person.
Thank you.
With an excellent personality.
Thank you.
I must commend you for working assiduously as an area representative and for your voluntary efforts.
Thank you.
In the past to build St. George's community as you outlined in your opening.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is the process for the participants who render poems at the Poets in the Square activity during Culturama?
Okay.
In other words, do they write their own poems or could they choose a poem of their choice?
Well, I think mostly, I may be wrong here, but I think most persons, they write their own poems, but I think I've also seen persons there who render poems that were not written by them, because you may have persons who are good at writing poem, but they may not be good at reciting the poem. And so you can be a poet, you can be a good writer, but there's some persons who might be shy, and so who would not want to face the mic to recite their own poem. So if there is a poet out there who writes good poems and feel a little timid to face the microphone or to face the audience, you can actually have someone to recite the poem for you. So you can be a poet where you write your own poem and you go and you recite it, but there also might be a situation where you can write the poem and get someone else to recite the poem for you. And of course, if anybody is interested in doing a poem for Poets in the Square, you have persons from the Culturama Secretariat that you can go and indicate your interest, and they will get on to you and they'll be able to put you on the program, because normally I think there's an entire week that Poets in the Square is featured there in Charlestown. So thank you very much for your commendation, and thanks for your question as well. I hope I've adequately answered the question. Any more caller? Okay. All right. So we get back to what I was saying a while ago, and I just want to again encourage persons to get more involved. And you know, the thing is, right, I had so much to say that I didn't even get a chance. I was just focusing on what I have done in Gingerland. I didn't get a chance as yet to outline some of the other stuff that I have done as a minister in the Nevis Island administration, minister responsible for sports, for culture, community development, social services, information, and you know, there's so much more that can be said. But of course, we know that the budget is coming up soon. That is normally in December, and I'll be able to outline a lot more there in terms of what has been happening in my ministry, because a lot has been happening in my ministry as well. I tried as much as possible tonight to focus on what has been happening in my constituency of St. George, Gingerland. But of course, when I became the minister in 2017, I was charged with the responsibility of certain ministries and certain departments, which I have led, and I think I've led well, and a lot has happened in those ministries as well, which I don't have the time here tonight to go into. And I want to just remind folks that this coming Saturday we have a huge event. We have a huge event over in the Barnscott area. And of course, I would have mentioned it before. If you're just joining us, I just wanted to remind persons that the place to be this coming Saturday is at Barnscott, where we will be launching our brand new candidate for the St. Thomas's Parish in the person of Miss Latoya Jones, and that will be happening in the vicinity, in the area there of the community center in Barnscott, and we'll have a lot in store for you. That will be happening from 7:30 this coming Saturday, and we're asking persons to come out in their blue. The big blue machine will be rolling into Barnscott come Saturday, and I want to tell you that once you come to Barnscott, you will not be disappointed at all, because your CCM team will be there, our CCM Queen will be there, Latoya, and we're going to have some entertainment for you as well. The highlight, of course, will be the Grandmasters Band, but before we have the Grandmasters Band, we'll have other entertainment interspersed in with the speeches, and we want people to come out in their numbers. Latoya is a very promising young lady, a candidate who we believe has a lot of potential. I know that a lot of persons in the St. Thomas's Parish are supporting her, and supporting her in a very big way, and so we want the people of St. Thomas's and the other constituencies as well to come out in your numbers this coming Saturday to Barnscott, where the big blue machine will be rolling and rolling heavy. But of course, before that, on Saturday as well, we'll be having the finals of the primary school football competition. As I would have mentioned earlier as well, they had the semi-finals this evening. Real excitement there at the ETW Park. We would have had the Joycelyn Liebert Primary School coming up against the Charlestown Primary. At the end of regulation time, the score was 2-2, and then in the penalty shootout, we had the Charlestown Primary emerging as the winner. And so the Charlestown Primary would have gone forward to the finals. In the second semi-final game that we had this evening, we had the St. Thomas's Primary School squaring off against the St. James's Primary School, and the St. James's Primary School would have won that contest 4-2. And so with that, we have another call online. Let's go to the lines. Good evening, you're live and on the mark.
Good evening, Mr. Evelyn.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm not bad at all. I realize that you spent most of the night tonight talking about Henry's Wood, Gingerland, and the people who you have touched in your constituency. You probably will have to use another night to talk about the other people touching other constituencies, like, for example, in Bath, in Brooklyn, in your castle.
Of course.
You know, you are known to help everybody all over.
I say that a little louder.
You know, so you need to make your mind up.
I say you need to say that a little louder.
Yeah, you know, talking about Henry's Road, Switzerland constituency, but you'll have to make some time to come back and talk about the other constituencies where you have touched other lives. For example, in Bath, Bromhill, Brooklyn, Newcastle, Barnwood, wherever.
Yes.
You have touched. You're one of the ministers who have touched almost every constituency.
Thank you, sir.
All the best to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And you're very correct, sir. I would have touched a lot of lives, not only in my constituency, but in the other constituencies, because I always say I think that is what God has placed me here on earth to do, and I do it. And if I don't do it, I will be disobeying God. Right? And I think that is why God continues to bless me, because I'm obeying His voice. He has placed me here on earth to help people, and that is what I enjoy doing. I always tell people that that's what I live for. I live for people. I live for people more than I live for myself.
Important.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good night as well. We have another call online. Good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark.
Okay, good evening.
Yes.
Thanks for your response as it relates to the poems, right?
Yes.
But could a poem be chosen, for example, from a book or the website as well?
I can try to find out for you. I am not sure, because I know we have persons who are normally in charge of poets in the square. So I can find out that, like, I mean, if you want to choose a poem that was not written by any vision or not written by you, if you want to just choose a poem and come and recite, that is what you're asking, right?
Yes.
Okay, I am not sure, but I can try to find out for you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
And if I have any further questions, I'll contact you then.
Yes, I am very easy to contact, 6638941, or you can call 5521 and ask them to put
government line.
You can call the government line. Thank you, and you have a good night. Thanks for calling.
Thanks.
Okay. We have another call online. Good evening, you're live and on the mark.
Yes, Mr. Evelyn, before you go, I would like to congratulate Latoya too.
Yes.
I watched her, and she was great.
Great.
Yeah.
She was
great.
She was excellent.
Yes.
She was so composed.
I really enjoy watching her, listening to her, you know. Like she was in there a long time.
Yes, she looked so settled.
Yeah.
And I think all of the persons, most of the persons who were at the assembly, they had to go and congratulate her for the excellent work that she did. And Nevis should be proud. We should be proud as Nevisians that she would have gone there in the National Assembly. The first woman from Nevis to be an opposition senator. The first woman from Nevis to be the deputy speaker. And we should lift up our people when they do things. That is what we need to do. We tear down people too much, so we need to start lifting up people.
And criticize and, all these things to say about people. It's not helping them, though,
Precisely.
It's not helping them.
Precisely.
But they have to come again. Wheel and come again.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
Okay, then, good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yes.
All right. Good. Thanks for calling. Do we have another caller? No. We just have another 4 minutes to go. The time has gone by very, very quickly tonight. I really spent a long time with my soliloquy, as the Premier would say. And of course, you know that the Premier and the Deputy Premier, they are currently in Taiwan. They're there at the part of the Prime Minister's delegation. The Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, was invited to Taiwan, and the Premier and the Deputy Premier would have journeyed there with him. And so they'll be back pretty shortly, but I'm sure that they would have made their mark there in Taiwan. And so, as I was saying earlier on Saturday, we do have the finals for the primary school football. It will be happening at ETW Park. I'm not sure of the start time as well, but do listen out. You'll be hearing much more about that. But that will be happening on Saturday at the ETW Park. So go on out and support. We'll have 2 games. We'll have the 3rd place game. So we'll have the Joycelyn Libert Primary playing against the St. Thomas's Primary to see who will place 3rd and 4th. And then the big one. The big one will be the St. James Primary versus the Charlestown Primary, and they will be doing battle there at the ETW Park to see who will lift that trophy as the winner, the 2022 winner of the primary school football champions. As I said, I was there tonight and I was happy to be there. And once again, I want to say a special good night to the people of St. George, Gingerland in my constituency. I want to say a special good night once again to the good folks up there in Rollins Village and the surrounding areas. I want to thank you for the very warm reception that you have given me. It has been such a pleasure talking with you and communicating with you, and rest assured that your humble servant will continue to serve you in the best capacity, to the best of my ability. And of course, I would have outlined tonight some of what I've done. I didn't get a chance to do all, but I want the good people of St. George Gingerland, and I am confident that the good people of St. George Gingerland will stick with the person who have stuck with them for all of his life. I have never let you down, Gingerland, and I will not start. I've always been there with you. I've always been there for you, and rest assured that will continue. And as we're about to wrap up tonight's show, we want to remind you once again that this coming Saturday from 7:30, the place to be is at Barnscott. The big boom machine will be rolling and rolling very heavy. We are all going over there to support our brand new candidate for constituency of St. Thomas's constituency, Nevis 5, Miss Latoya Bianca Jones. She's already making her mark at the National Assembly in St. Kitts. We are proud of her, and we know that she will be very willing and ready to make her mark in the Nevis Island Assembly and in the Nevis Island administration. So we'll see all of you this coming Saturday from 7:30 at Barnscott. It has been my absolute pleasure hosting On The Mark for tonight. Of course, we know that the show is rebroadcast tomorrow, Thursday at 1 o'clock. And so if you missed the show tonight, even if you listen tonight, we're asking you to listen again tomorrow. That is what a lot of people normally do. And so listen tomorrow. If you missed the show tonight, make sure to tune in tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We will have the rebroadcast of the On The Mark program. It has been my absolute pleasure hosting you tonight. We want to thank all of you for listening. Thank all of you for tuning in to the Facebook Live. And it's always a pleasure hosting On The Mark in the absence of the Honorable Premier. So once again, thank you. Good night. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. Blessings to you.
The views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Nevis Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertisers.